The PTE exam is not telling you a few things that every PTE aspirant must know. 5 shocking, but the true PTE exam secrets that the PTE has been hiding from you. Make sure you know and understand all of these before you actually take the PTE exam. Better safe than sorry. Hey everyone, Anurag here from Edutrainex PTE. Hope you all are doing great. Is PTE really keeping secrets from you? Yes, some of them definitely are shocking because they are not publishing this information on their websites or even sharing this with anyone else. But we manage to find them using our own attempts at the PTE exam as well as useful inputs from our students, including you, the YouTube followers. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and watch this video right till the end very seriously, because the most important secret is right towards the end. क्या होगा पीटी एग्जाम का? बोलते कुछ है और करते कुछ है. What we are going to discuss in this video is really going to shock you. The first thing that we are still seeing in the exam is the PT trial questions. On the website, they published last December 2023 that this is going to be trial questions until mid of January. But after that, they stopped publishing any information about that, and people are still getting the trial questions. And there are more problems in the exam that are happening. So it's important because this exam is important for you. So for your immigration, for your study purposes, whatever you are applying for. Exam is important, so we can't deny the fact that it is relatively easier to IELTS. But you still need to understand what exactly is happening in the exam. Anything shocking, what changes are happening. So these secrets will actually shock you. Let's start with the first one. What is the first secret that PT is hiding from you? What we have observed from our experiences, what we have seen in the exam. Also, our students are seeing it on a daily basis. So the first one is varying number of questions. This is being observed in 3 of the modules out of 4. Speaking, listening and reading. The only untouched kind of module is the writing module, where you have limited type of questions, so it is not playing around with you. So what is happening in the exam right now is, because of these trial questions, because there is extra time that you need to attempt these questions, whether you attempt them or skip them, that's up to you, because these are trial questions, not part of your evaluation. But because of that, it has to reduce the number of questions, because in the end, it needs to balance the exam out of 2 hours. So what they are doing for the speaking section is sometimes they are reducing the other number of questions. Most of the time it is describe image, it is retell lecture. But there could be reduction in read aloud as well as repeat sentence as well, because some people get 2 or 4 trial questions in the exam. So when they increase those number of questions, it has to balance it somewhere. So if you do get more number of questions, don't panic. Whatever the questions that you are getting in the speaking module, you have to attempt with best fluency, best confidence. Then, what is happening in the reading section? Another change or secret that PT has not been disclosing, but now we are seeing in the exam, starting from the last month. What is happening is people are getting longer reading fill in the blanks questions or longer passages for reading writing fill in the blanks question. Not just passages. Instead of 4 to 5 blanks that were regular in the exam, now people are getting 7 blanks, 8 blanks. You can see them in the prediction files as well. So because again you need more time, it's not doing injustice with you that it will give you such a long piece of question for the fill in the blanks question and then still ask you to attempt the multiple choice question, reorder paragraph questions and the other modules. So it is doing justice with you, trying to do justice with you by reducing the other number of questions. See, most of the other YouTube channels, they are just asking you to skip these questions, right? So it is a blessing for you if you are following that advice. You can skip these questions, or it may not appear for you in the exam. If you are getting reading fill in the blanks question, 6 or 7 blanks in each question, of course you need more time. And then you have to balance that time. The exam is doing that for you by reducing the number of questions. So if you don't get these questions in the exam, don't panic that there is something wrong with the exam or something wrong is happening only for you. It is happening for many of the people. So if you get these in the exam, attempt them. Otherwise, just skip them. The next varying number of questions have also been observed in the listening section. So what is happening right now is either you are getting less fill in the blanks questions or less highlight incorrect words and write from dictation. Again, the reason for this is because some of the questions are having longer audios, or you are getting multiple summarized spoken text questions, because it still needs to cover the entire listening module somewhere around 30 minutes. So it has to balance the exam for you. So you may get some of the reduced questions for some other modules. Now, if you see this kind of pattern in your exam, as I said before, don't panic. Just try to give your best shot. Okay, whatever questions you get, same amount of time. If some are less, some are more, you just attempt whatever you are getting. Okay, don't make some of your questions your favorite and some of the other questions not your favorite. Go with the important modules. Of course, important module questions, you will get relatively decent amount of number of questions. So attempt them properly, and the lesser important questions, if you are getting it less, that's a blessing. If you're still getting it, then give it a best shot in the shortest amount of time possible. I have shared these tips in several other videos. You're free to watch. The second secret, that time does not wait. Time and tide does not wait. You might have heard this proverb, a very old proverb, right? समय किसी के लिए नहीं रुकता है. So what is happening? Part 1 of the exam is speaking and writing, okay? That's more or less allocated time, specific time. But in reading section, what is happening? First of all, as soon as part 1 finishes, speaking and writing, you go to the part 2. You will notice at the right hand side on the top, the clock has started already. And what people do is they spend their time reading the instructions, which is not at all required. Okay, for reading, there is no particular checks that you need to do about checking your notepad, your pen, or your headsets. All those checks have to be done before you begin the test. So please keep doing those checks before the exam, but reading the instructions for the reading module is unnecessary. It's not needed because the time is already running and most of you are struggling with the reading section. So it is not recommended to read the instructions straight away. Begin the test, begin the part 2 and start with the questions, because the fill in the blank questions, reading, writing, fill in the blanks questions, they do take time. They require time for you to solve it. So don't read the instructions once again, just begin the test, part 2 of the test. Okay, now we have talked about 2 secrets. As I said before, the most important one is right towards the end. So let's look at the other ones. The third one is about allocated time. Now, how many of you don't know that essays, summarize written text and summarize spoken text have allocated time? Even for the core exam where you get email, that also has allocated time. Allocated time means that the essays 20 minutes, summarize written text 10 minutes, summarize spoken text 10 minutes. So this is the fixed time that you get for attempting these questions. If you think I can cover the summarized written text or summarized spoken text out of 10 minutes, I can attempt the response within 5 minutes and then maybe 5 minutes will get added to the remaining section. But that's not the case. That does not happen. So what is happening is either you take it or leave it. Either you utilize the full time that is given for these 3 questions, or if you are not utilizing that particular time, that time is lost. You have forfeited that time. You have lost the time. Okay, so better for these 3 type of questions, I always recommend that you keep the last couple of minutes to do some review. Okay, I know many of you are not that patient and you have so much momentum and energy when giving the exam, you want to finish it as soon as possible. But please be a little bit patient. Please show some maturity from your side by reviewing yourself, retrospecting yourself, checking what mistakes have I done. And believe me, if you do that, you will find some of them. Many of the students who have not been doing this, when we ask them to start doing this, they improve in their writing questions. So for writing questions, it's a must to review your response because the time is fixed. Either you finish it early or even if you exceed the time. Okay, another important point about exceeding the time. So let's say you have typed certain number of words for essay. Maybe you have already typed 200 words. Okay, but you did not click the next button and the timer has run out. So whatever you have written is still saved. Okay, no one might have told you about that. It is still saved. You will not lose the response. Okay, so it is automatically submitted. All the three questions. Again, common point between all these three questions: essays, summarized written text, and summarized spoken text. Fixed time and auto submission. So even if you are not clicking the submit or the next button, your response is still safe. So that is the third secret that I wanted to share with you. Let's look at the fourth one, and the fourth one is really a major one. Technical problems. Okay, now why are the technical problems happening in the exam these days when they were not happening before? Now the main reason for these to happen is because the exam is experimenting with a lot of things. What is it experimenting with? It is including the trial questions. It is making the questions longer. Some of the questions like fill in the blank, sometimes repeat sentence as well. So what is happening behind the scene is that it still needs to do some calculations to make adjustments to the exam so that it is fair and just to you. So because of these things, as well as the experiments and other things, they have become more stricter now. And we have heard from ample number of students that sometimes when they realize they need to use the markers, they are not working. So it is your responsibility to do these checks before you begin the test. You have the responsibility to check the marker, notepad, everything is working for you. Make sure the headset is working properly for you. Now this part, internet connection, disconnection, system crash, we have seen with multiple students, our own students as well as some subscribers as well. So what is happening? You have given the half of the exam. The same thing happened with one of my students. He gave half of the exam and then suddenly the internet started behaving badly. Maybe that center's problem or that city's problem, but you are giving the exam, you are paying the money. So this causes a lot of nervousness in the examinees, the people who are appearing for the exam. You get nervous and you panic what exactly you need to do. So always, if you face such an issue where the system crashes or there is internet connection problems, make sure you are at the center and you don't leave the center without registering a case with the Pearson. Once you register a case, you will get a case ID, and then that case ID can help you to get a refund as well as the voucher for booking the next exam for free. So if it is a problem of the center, it is a problem of the exam itself, then they will give you refund. But on the other hand, another set of students, what problem they faced is that they did not have their names matching with the passport. So these things can't be regarded as technical problems, but why I'm sharing this with you is because they have implemented this feature very strictly and they have not publicly announced this particular thing. So if at all, if your name, middle name, first name, last name, whatever is not matching with the passport, they will not give you any refund. They will not allow you to sit in the exam, and also don't register multiple email IDs for one for exam registration, one for mock test, one for something else. Just use one ID, okay, because eventually they are going to find out that you are using duplicate IDs, and it should not happen at a time when you want to reschedule the exam and you find out that the other account has been locked. And by the time you raise the issue, by the time they resolve it, you already lose the margin to schedule the exam or reschedule the exam. Exactly the same thing happened with one of my students. He did this and he wanted to reschedule the exam, but because his account was locked, he was unable to do that. So don't do these kind of silly things. Just keep one ID for registration, even by chance if you have done it. Okay, now is the time. Before you decide to make any changes, get your account merged. They do have the capability to merge your accounts, multiple accounts in one, and whatever you have bought from different accounts will be shown in one place. So technical problems, very common now. The blue screen of death was also part of it. So this is happening in the exam right now. The last and the super important secret that I wanted to share with you today is about the words. Now, many of you have a habit or a pattern of following the prediction files. That's not wrong because the questions do get repeated in the exam. But what we have observed by looking at several months of prediction files together and analyzing it, what we found, whether the questions repeat or not, some of them do get repeated for multiple months. But the words, the spelling words that are appearing in the exam do tend to appear repeatedly. And that's what we have found. And because of that, we have also made a series just to help you with this, to recognize which type of words are coming frequently in the exam and more important ones as well. Of course, learning new words is going to help you because English is a life skill, right? Not only for the exam, it will help you throughout the life if you know more words. You will be speaking fluently. You can add more words from your side when you are speaking. And that will happen when you know more words, right? So knowing more words can help you in multiple ways, but mainly for the exam, these words do get repeated. Okay. So any word that you see now in the exam is captured in the prediction file and they get repeated. And within one prediction file also, what we have found is that one spelling or one word has been repeated in multiple times. One of the word I found was in the same month's prediction file. It was repeated in more than 10 places. So that's quite a secret. If you know, you have to learn the words, the spellings, the meanings, collocation, how they are used. And then when you go to the exam with, information about at least from 3 to 4 prediction files, then you will be in a much better state. And this is the secret that I have been sharing in my videos. If you are not aware of it, there is a playlist as well as videos that we publish every month to talk about the most important spellings that are appearing in the exam for listening fill in the blanks and for write from dictation. And then we also cover the words, vocabulary words, collocating words for every month for these two questions, reading fill in the blanks and reading writing fill in the blanks. So make sure you watch them, and now you know all the secrets that I wanted to share with you for this particular month. Maybe if the PT is trying to hide more things and if we find more secrets from our experiments in the exam, then you will be the first to know from us. Many of these secrets are absolutely shocking, and if you're not aware about them, when you go for the exam, what happens? You panic, you get nervous, and you spoil the exam. Saying this again, better safe than sorry. And if you do want to utilize the knowledge of the last secret that I just shared with you, start watching this playlist we have exclusively made on importance of spellings and vocabulary, the words that are appearing in the exam frequently right now. Must watch for all of you. Keep watching Edutrainex, and I will soon be back with another super insightful as well as informative video about the PT exam. See you soon.